All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Wakakodash. Double honor to my apostles, to the elders of Great Millstone. Much peace and love to all the brothers doing this work in truth and sincerity. Shalom. As you know, today is Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, which is a day where so-called Negroes were sold for a cheaper price. Of course, Jake don't want to believe the truth because he's been fed lies so much. But this is the actual truth of Black Friday. So-called Negro slaves were sold at lower prices. As you can see, these are the so-called prices of a slave, whether male or female. It's Negro man, $23 years old, $800. This is what we had to suffer, man. This is what we had to suffer. Did you know the term Black Friday originated with the practice of selling slaves on the day after Thanksgiving? So if anybody wanted to get a slave, just come to Black Friday, a day after Thanksgiving, and get you a nice cheap slave, man. And this was a legal thing back then, man. America, during Black Friday, slaves were sold at a discount to boost the economy. Hence, black slaves were of it says African origin, but we know it's talking about the Hebrew Israelites, because the so-called Africans are ones who sold us into the hands of the Edomites. It says Friday, the date of the sale, on that Friday in November, which is obviously the day after Thanksgiving. So this is the history behind Black Friday. Us being on auction and blocks and being sold off at cheaper prices, man. Let's see that we are entering the times when the Lord is going to recompense. He's going to pay back all of the things that Esau has done to our people. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation and to them that trouble you. So it is a righteous thing for the Lord to recompense, which means pay back those that trouble us. One thing Esau did, sold us on auction blocks. So it says make amends to someone for a loss or harm suffered. So you're going to have to make amends for that, Punish or reward someone approximately for an action. So you it says again, weigh one thing against another, do a favor to a creditor. So you're going to have to pay us back. Do a favor to requite a loss, to requite a loss. So we took a lot of losses. So you're going to have to pay us back for all those losses that we took, Esau, at your hands. We were sold on auction blocks. So guess what? You're going to be sold on auction blocks. This is Joel chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, for behold, in those days and in that time, which is coming up, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, and he's going to let us go, I will also gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh-Shaphat, which is over there in the Middle East. Well, not the Middle East, but over there in the area of Syria, mainly in Syria, but in that whole little region, Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, that's the valley of Yahweh's judgment. It says, and I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So they sold us into the nations. And they have cast lots for my people. They have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. So they have did that. The Lord wouldn't have it in here if they didn't do that. They'll sell you off for commodities, man. We was just like a piece of property to them. And if they wanted to, they can trade that property or that slave for a piece of property or slaves for property. Let me see if I can find, I thought of this kind of last minute. Let me see if I can find something that references that. Commodities. Let me see. Slaves sold for wine. If I can't find that, then it's all right. But, before I started this lesson, I would have had it already in alcohol made by no. Well, it looks like I'm not gonna be able to find anything that references that. Louisiana slave trade. Actually, I'm gonna do more reading on this, and Lord willing, I find some information concerning that. But I'm gonna continue on with my lesson. It says, Yea, what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? These are African nations, Hamite nations, and all the coast of Palestine. Will ye render me a recompense? Will you pay back the Lord? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head, because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried it away into your temples, my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold to the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. So these Hamites sold us into the hands of these goddamn devils. So they had a hand in our captivity. And they benefited off of them. They sold us for money into the hands of these devils, man. And who knows how much that was. It says, Behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them, which is America, and will return your recompense on your own head. So the Lord is going to sell you. He's going to have you as slaves, man. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah. So the Lord's going to sell your sons, you Hamite sons, and you Edomites into the hands of Judah. And there shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for Yahweh has spoken it. So you gonna get what you asked for. You're gonna get your recompense. You're gonna get your payback. Because right now things are unbalanced. And the Lord is going to make it right. This is Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is an abomination to Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight. It's Proverbs 20:23. Diverse weights are an abomination unto Yahweh, and a false balance is not good. So the Lord doesn't like that things are unbalanced right now. So he's finna make things very balanced. He's going to make things right. The Lord is going to make things right. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1, it says, And it shall come to pass, when all these things come upon you, thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether Yahweh thy God has driven thee, and shall return unto Yahweh thy God, and shall obey his voice, to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Then Yahweh thy God will return thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whether Yahweh thy God hath scattered thee. If any of thine be driven out to the uttermost part of heaven, from thence will Yahweh thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And Yahweh thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. And Yahweh thy God will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thy seed to love Yahweh thy God, and with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And Yahweh thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So that's the point. Once we get done, experiencing the blessing and experiencing the curses, we're going to be brought back to our natural state. We're gonna return to our land, and then these heathens will get a taste of the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and the curses that are in Leviticus, because it's gonna be a new sheriff in town. His name is Yahushua. He's a new governor. You know, the Lord is gonna put everything in Yahushua's hands, because he's the way, man. You know, he's the anointed. This is Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Because the government is going to stand on Yahushua's shoulder. It's his kingdom. By default, it's the kingdom of Israel, because he is an Israelite, and he loves his people. You know? This is Jeremiah chapter 30. Verse 16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, even you Hamites, you Moabites, all of you heathens are going into captivity. Every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So you gonna be a prey to the nation of Israel. Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. This is in the New Testament. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. That's that. Psalms chapter 149. I'm going to get to the point. Verse 6. It says, let the high praises of God be in their mouth, talking about the Israelites, and a two-edged sword in their hand, and that's a real sword, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. Praise ye Yahweh. Fetters of iron. If you go to an image, I'm pretty sure it's gonna have Jacob here. Yep. Fetters of iron. Take a good look at what fetters of iron is. Them chains, man. You're going to have chains around you. Chains around your neck. Chains around your ankles. You know how Jake be when they in prison? They got chains all over everywhere. You know, legs, thighs, this, that, and the third, man. They have chains everywhere. But see, you going to get the same treatment. Well, that's a good precept. Let me see if I can go to Psalm 105 and 18 real quick. Let's see if I can read up more on that. It's the spirit. Psalms 105. Okay. Oh, this is speaking about Joseph when he went into the land of Egypt. But he still had fetters of iron on, you know, whose feet they hurt with fetters, who's laid in iron. Until the time that the word came, the word of Yahweh tried him. So this is speaking about the old Egypt. When the Joseph was in Egypt, they say he had fetters of iron. But the point being, he still had fetters of iron. He's still an Israelite, man. Even that's talking about a different time period, though. No. But he still had fetters of iron, though. But see, we're going to bind your kings, your nobles with fetters of iron, with chains, handcuffs, so to speak, you know. And y'all going straight into slavery. Your first job is going to be to clean up the dead bodies. It's continual employment. This is Ezekiel chapter 39. Verse 13, it says, Yea, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renowned day that I shall be glorified, saith the Lord Yahweh. And they shall sever out men of continual, that means nonstop, employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it. After the end of the 7 months shall they search. So we're going to sever out men. We're going to find some men who are going to be Edomites, and they're going to put up the dead, bury these dead bodies that will be remaining on the face of the earth after the Lord's get done doing this, doing his killing spree, man. So you devils better get ready, because it's going to be a White Friday. I think I'm going to entitle this White Friday. Or Heathen Friday or something. Because it's going to be, you're going to be sold, like the scripture says, into the hands of Judah, to the children of Judah. So we're going to be selling you damn slaves, man. You're going to be on auctioning blocks. Let me see. Auction block. Look at this shit, man. Auction block. Look at this shit. See, this is Esau's shame right here, man. His history of violence. This is his shame. Look what he did to our people, man. Virginia State Senate, removal of slave auction block. It says, auction block, Fredericksburg, principal auction site in pre-Civil War days for slaves and property. For slaves and property. Slave auction block. On this site, slaves were bought and sold. It's gonna be recompense, man. That's why, I don't even get mad no more. As mad as I used to. Because I know through the spirit, man, hey, a greater day is coming, man. I promise. Hey, the Lord promised that he gonna come back, man. And we believe that, man. We got faith in that. Because we know a greater day is coming. I'm gonna end the lesson off with this scripture. Because Esau has sown much, and he gonna reap what he's sown. This is Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So if you sowing violence, death, murder, rape, robbery, the Lord gonna give you what you want. He gonna give you your recompense. Hey, the scripture says this. Numbers, I know it's in Numbers. This is Numbers chapter 32, verse 23. It says, but if ye will do not so, behold, ye have sinned against Yahweh, and be sure your sin will find you out. So your sin is going to find you out, man. Esau, your sin is going to find you, man. So with that, I hope you brothers was edified with this lesson. Get ready for White Friday. Or, better yet, not even White Friday, Red Friday, because you devils are not white, you're red. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom, Kwam Yasha Allah, Wa Abba Adawam, Yahaba Shemel Shalak Rayam, to anybody that opposes the spirit of Yahweh Shah. Shalom.